From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the morning news for September 25th, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. President Donald Trump said Wednesday that he was the victim of three very sinister events during his time at the United Nations on Tuesday, and that the Secret Service will be looking into the issues. The president was attending the UN General Assembly, where he gave a speech excoriating the institution for having squandered its potential. He also criticized U.S. allies in Europe for their handling of the Russian war in Ukraine and their acceptance of immigrants, as he told fellow world leaders that their nations were going to hell. On his social media website, Trump indicated that he was in a sour mood at the UN because of a trio of mishaps that he suggested was part of a conspiracy. First, the escalator came to a screeching halt, with Trump and his entourage on it, an event that Trump called absolutely sabotage. Second, Trump said his teleprompter went stone cold dark during his address to the UN. The problem with that accusation is that the White House was responsible for operating the teleprompter for the president, according to a UN official who spoke on condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the issue. Third, Trump said that the sound was off at the UN as he spoke, and that people could only hear his remarks if they had interpreters speaking into earpieces. Trump said his wife, Melania, told him she couldn't hear what he said. We have the explanations. The escalator, Stefan Dujarric, the UN spokesman, said a videographer from the U.S. delegation who ran ahead of Trump may have inadvertently triggered the stop mechanism at the top of the escalator. The teleprompter, well, we already explained that. The White House was controlling it, not the UN. As for the sound system and translators, well, all of the translators were having trouble translating from gibberish into their native languages. In other news, a part of a road in Bangkok collapsed on Wednesday, leaving a large sinkhole that disrupted traffic, damaged infrastructure, and prompted evacuations in the surrounding area. There were no casualties, but 3 vehicles were damaged by the collapse, said Bangkok Governor Chachart Sitiput. He said officials believe the collapse was caused by construction work on an underground train station. Videos of the moment of the collapse show the face of the road slowly sinking down, pulling down several electricity poles and damaging water pipes. Cars tried to back away as the hole grew larger and completely severed the 4-lane road. One edge of the hole stopped right in front of a police station, exposing its underground structure. Turning to news from Colombia, 23 workers were rescued Wednesday after spending 43 hours trapped in a collapsed underground gold mine in northern Colombia. The miners were met with applause as they emerged from the La Reliquia mine located in the Antioquia department. Colombia's National Mining Agency reported that the main entrance to the mine had collapsed on Monday due to a geomechanical failure. A video released by the A&M shows the first rescued miners walking out under their own power using a rope to climb the steep entrance to the shaft. Their health status was not immediately disclosed. The miners' families had been waiting for hours and celebrated their rescue with tears and applause. And in Lebanon, an Israeli drone crashed into the headquarters of the UN peacekeeping force in southern Lebanon, but didn't cause any casualties, the force said in a statement. The force, known as UNIFIL, or UNIFIL, said that by flying drones over Lebanon, Israel was violating a UN Security Council resolution that helped end the 14-month Israeli-Hezbollah war, Resolution 1701, which was first approved in 2006 to end a previous round of fighting. Calls for both sides to respect the other's airspace. UNIFIL said that its explosive ordnance disposal experts secured and neutralized the drone immediately after it hit the headquarters in the Lebanese border town of Naqoura on Tuesday afternoon. UNIFIL added that the drone was not armed but was equipped with a camera. The Israeli military later confirmed that one of its drones fell in southern Lebanon and said it was due to a technical malfunction and that it had made contact with the UN peacekeeping force to clarify the situation. Mr. President, we would like to address you directly. Look, you had a couple of mishaps at the UN, but don't get too bent out of shape. A couple of thoughts for you. First, you didn't get trapped in a mine in Colombia. Second, you didn't drive into a sinkhole in Bangkok, Thailand. Third, you didn't have a drone from Israel strike at you while you were at the UN in Lebanon. Okay? So count your blessings. And as for telling other nations to go to hell, well, one might suggest that you do the same. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.